What's going on, you guys? This is Hyperion-Blue-GT. It's time to get ready for round 9 of the 2019-20 exhibition series of the Manufacturer Series on Gran Turismo Sports. Now we are racing at Circuit de Spa-Francochamps for 11 laps, and this time we'll be getting ready to go for a Group 3 race. We'll get started. So, this is going to be quite good to get ready to take on for the competition, so hope we're all excited for the moment. We'll be getting ready to go. So before enjoying watching the video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and check out some more videos if you like. Feel free to enjoy it anytime you want for any entertainment, so let's go and get ready to race, and let's get it started. I hope this is going to be a very good competition race on Spa-Francochamps, folks, but this might take plenty of practice since we spent 7 days on the 8-lap challenge, but this will be having 11 laps. We'll be getting ready to go. So make no mistakes, you guys, this is going to be a very tough challenge that we will going to be prepared. So let's go and get ready to get started. So let's begin right about now. Here we go, it's round 9 of the 2019-20 exhibition series of the Manufacturer Series on Spa-Francochamps and GT Sports. Now, looks like let's go with the drivers. Here is Bucky Batspeeds in first place for the Porsche 911 RSR. Timberhawk 316 in second place for the Jaguar F-Type Group 3. Third place is CNF No Limits Busa for the Jaguar F-Type Group 3. Fourth place is F1 Rayon F1 with the Renault Sport RS01 GT3. Fifth place is Miguel 8520 with the Mercedes-Benz AMG. Sixth place is Jim Hammery 17 with the Chevy Corvette C7. Dudu 2203 in seventh place for the McLaren 650S GT3. Sierra 2145 in eighth place for the Honda NSX. Big J 3566E on ninth place. Will with GT7 in 10th place for the Alfa Romeo 4C. NHM Rock in 11th place for the Ford GT. El Mominio in 12th place for the McLaren. 13th place is myself with the Chevy Corvette C7 Group 3. 14th place is G-Man is in the Aston Martin V12 Vantage. Jetboy 123 for the Porsche 911 RSR in 15th place. DRT BKR in 16th place for the Aston Martin V12 Vantage. TPC Gerion in the Ford Mustang in 17th place. Trooper 907 in 18th place. So this is going to be a very good, excellent challenge that this will have a good, clean race. After taking for the last time by having 7 days in Spa-Francochamps for a workout, but this is going to be the most challenging race for all of us if we have the skills to be prepared. And looks like the planes are flying in to soaring in onto the straight, and this might take the start. We'll be going in underway. So here we go. This will be the most challenging group race on Circuit de Spa-Francochamps. Let's get it on for having a good, clean race to be prepared. But this might take the first turn. We'll be getting ready to go. So here it comes. This might take a very good, gentle turn. We'll be taking a lot of good inside to take perfection. But now it's going to be getting on. We'll be taking on for a long, good slope straight to be down onto the hill. And here it comes for the uphill. This might coming in will take plenty of good speed to perform. So keep it nice and tight. And be very exercise caution onto the penalty, because this wheel might take that risk to be prepared. But it's going to be very excited to see how this might go. But we will keep on racing to stay clean. We'll take a lot of good perfection for taking this moment. And it looks like there it goes, folks. This is going to be a very hard one out there, so just try to keep it clear to be on to the inside. We might take the risk. We'll be going in. Hope everybody is definitely might be taking a lot of good inside turns to be performed, but challenging efforts will might be taking one good ways to keep going faster to be going on to have this race. Will might be taking a few efforts. Will might take the risk. Will going in. So it looks like Dudu 2203 is going on to take on with GT Seb in 9th place. This is going to be the first start. Will might be having the challenger drivers will be getting on to be prepared for this moment. But taking a lot of slipstreams is important to raise up the acceleration. Will might come through, but it will might take plenty of turns to deal with. But if we have to take much more capabilities, will might going on to the upper hand. And looks like green flag just definitely might be giving a signal call pass by. So hope this is going to be having a few caution that this will might be very careful to be getting a little bit more caution in the bias. Will might be stepping in to see it how this might goes. But few other mistaken drivers will might be sent into the shadow realm for having a mistake on the penalty that this will going in there. It looks like there's one over there on 8th place. This is going to be quite giving an interesting, surprising to see it. But this is going to be very tougher it gets. This will might goes in onto the penalty line, onto the shadow realm, will be on the way. And this will take on 2nd place. We'll be going on to take 10 more to go. This is going to be lap number 2 to be currently in. We'll be getting started out. But it's going to be quite really impressive to see how this grueling battle might go out, to see how this might turn. And looks like this is going to be giving a little bit caution warning step. Just going to keep it with a little eyes out whenever any drivers could probably taking the brakes. But this wheel might have everything whenever they have to take plenty of more skills to be giving a little bit more exercise caution to be performed to see it. Now here comes for taking that turn, but it's going to get very stepping stone. Wheel might be taking the inside turn. Will go in. Now on to the 1st place. Fuzzy Fast Beats is now going to take the action with a Porsche 911 RSR to take the lead. So this is going to be quite very grueling battling, matching in to take one good turns to be stepping in to take one good perfection to be performed. But this wheel might take the chance to keep it well defended. And it looks like CNF No Limit Busa is in 1st place by having a 2nd place. Will be going in. But it's going to be quite very brilliant to see how any chances for drivers will be going in there. But meanwhile, Timberhawk 316 is taking on to keep it defended onto 3rd place. He will might keep it on guard before any opponents will be going to take on him for having a one tough challenging overtake. Will be getting in there, but it's going to get well determined for 3rd place drivers by the choice. Whenever it's going to be quite giving the good speed average skill will be going in. But it's going to be quite very excited for having a one good additional lap times that this will might be going on. And over there is G-Man 1963 1231 on 12th place. He will might take the action with his Aston Martin V12 Vantage. Will might be going on to take the action will be going on for. So this will might take the few distance to catch up onto 4. But it's going to get very risky to be taking a lot of faster times. Will might catching up on it. And there goes on to the 3rd lap. Will be going in. But this will might take plenty of distance will be getting yet to go, but it's going to get very challenging to see how the faster limits will might be dealing with some several distance. 1st turn is going to be quite sharply tough, so we might be keeping in to stay well managed onto the acceleration, onto the throttle will might be having in for. But this will might take the hard step. We'll be going in onto the upper hill because taking a little hard turns that this will might be taking a lot of view perfection by taking the steps. We might be taking a good safer point without getting the penalty, but it's going to get a lot of risk if we have to be very much careful. We'll be taking a lot of steps to perform. Since taking a Group 1 race in the Nations Cup, it was pretty challenging for having a lot of few efforts out there. We might be taking a lot of all-wheel drive prototype skills. We might be giving in to see it. But good thing I just did pretty good to have the TSO50 to be taking a lot of better much skills. Will also go faster. But this time, after taking a lot of training, but this is going to get very risky. We might be taking a lot of few efforts. We might be take the action. We'll go in. But it's going to get pretty difficult out there, so we might need to keep it well careful. But it's going to take plenty of skills to be needed for any drivers who really need to take that performance. But it's going to get very grueling out there. We might be taking the good different conditions onto the sunset. Just getting on that turn, so trying to catch up onto G-Man. It's going to be the very long distance we might be catching up. Jetboil 123 is definitely going to take the action on 13th place. E-Whale might be taking the good speed choice. We'll be having the Porsche 911 RSR. Will might take the action. Now, looks like UTRS is going to be ready to defend the position. Whenever it's going to be taking a lot of few inside turns, we might be taking the better upper hand. We might be ready to take the racing line of the defense. And there goes that pit stop entry for every several drivers. And it looks like Dudu 2203 is the first one to be in the pits. We'll be having the chopped tire. We'll be changing up on the medium. This we might have the choice whenever it's going to be giving a good durability. We might be taking a lot of tires. We might be getting in on the effort. But it takes time. But this wheel might goes in, we might be taking a lot of few distance to be left to go for every several drivers. Now it's going to be quite getting a little bit separate for each Group 3 drivers onto the first half of the track of the group. But it's going to get very long. It's going to get very tough out there. Since we've been doing this for having a lot of training, we might take a good step to take plenty of practice. But not anymore. This is all about taking a competition that every spectators really want to see some action. We'll be having a lot of race. We'll be going in there. But it takes plenty of hard work for all of us if we have the good chance to be achieved for having a lot of good skills to take that performance. But it takes plenty of perfection that this will be taking a lot of skills to perform. Still going on for the top 3 drivers. Are still going at it, so taking the caution flag, this definitely might be calling up, and then this will might have the green flag. Will be proceed to go after the mistake problems will be solved in. So taking a lot of investigation is going underway for every driver who thinks that this is going to be taking plenty of mistakes by the penalty. So we have to be very much careful, because taking a lot of few efforts out there will might taking in good ways. And looks like there goes, there's the yellow flag just called in for it. So it looks like G-Man just got spun off the track by a mistake. Hope he can probably take a little bit time for a little recovery, so this wheel might drops down onto a different position. So this might makes it for 10th place for the UTRS Chevy Corvette. Wheel might be taking a lot of speed. Will go faster whenever it takes. It's going to get very longer. We'll might be having this time for this moment, folks. Taking a lot of few turns to be going in. It looks like Chef Boy 123 is coming in. This is going to be taking a lot of few turns onto the chicane on the last part of the turn. This one might goes in onto the 5th lap. Only six more to go. Hope this is going to be quite getting a lot of reminding checks to see how long does this race might hold out for. So this one might be giving a little bit more possible to have lap number 8, that this is going to be giving the good call to be having in for this time. Here comes onto the hillside turns. This is going to be quite getting a lot of few speed. We might be racing up. I hope Chef Boyle 123 is still trying to keep it up, because it's going to get very longer it takes, and it looks like there's only have one driver to have that penalty. This is going to be quite going into straighten in onto the shadow realm. And oh man, it looks like this is going to be quite very harder it gets, and this is going to be a massive collision. Wow, that is going to be a massive collision to see it. So this is going to be quite taking a lot of under investigation to see it. No idea who started this crash, and oh man, it looks like this is going to be a hard one. That's going to be the second time in a row. I can't believe it. This is going to be quite very difficult to see that kind of a mess. It's going to get very bumpy, so just going to make sure to have that hazard lights to be turned on. It's going to be quite very dangerous to see this kind of a race, because there will be having some accidents out there. So it looks like, oh man, Chef Boyle 123 just hit me, and this is going to be quite pretty tougher it gets. So now this is going to be quite giving the time for this moment, folks. We just definitely might need to be very careful during this time of the race. There will be some car accidents for this moment. It's going to be quite very tough to be needed to take a little bit time for recovery. Whenever it happens that there's any braking points to be needed, this might take plenty of few steps during this time of the competition. We will always going to be respectful during this time for this competition, because it takes plenty of perfections that this might have a chance for having a good clean race. But now, the racing of the engagement is going to be quite very challenging, but this wheel might take that risk, will be needed. But now this is going to be giving a lot of possibilities. We might giving the time, so this is going to be going in on to the pit stop that this will might going in. This one might take plenty of refuel. We might be getting in there, but this one might have that tire compound that this one might get set up on it. But my crew is changing up with the medium compound tires, and this wheel might be needed to be ready to be refuel. That's going to be 81%, so that's going to be all good, and now ready to pit out and heading back on the track. So this is going to be having a last place that this wheel might take plenty of more patience time that this wheel might have. But it's going to be quite pretty tough for having this time of this race, folks, because every racing moment will have to take the perfection into a whole lot of risk. We might give every driver to have a world of hurt. So we just definitely might be having to remind ourselves, so we just definitely might be having a lot of good times to take this practice until right about now. But it will might be having for the next season will might get better, but this is going to be quite getting a lot of hard work will be needed for all of us to take plenty of practice. But no turning back for now for this season. This wheel might take a professional racing step to perform that we might be needed. So meanwhile, on the top three drivers, F1, Valley and F1 is taking the lead. So this is going to be quite doing good to see how he can probably keep it up. Taking the good quality for having his Group 3 car will might take the action will be going in. This one might take plenty of gap distance, will be giving his time, will be going on to take the podium. So now currently in on to lap number 6, this will might be having challenging Group 3 drivers out there that this will be needed to have that pit stop. But it's getting further closer upon, but taking a long distance is going to be a hard risk will be needed as well. And as for the recall, so the fastest lap is definitely might be a very good performance by Big J 3566G. Is taking the most fastest lap by 2 minutes and 20.633 seconds. He did a pretty good job out there, because this is going to be quite taking a lot of good perfection. We might take the efforts on Spa-Francochamps. Now this will might climb myself back onto 13th place. This is going to get continuing on to catching up. But I hope there might be taking a few patient time. We'll be ready to head out. So this will might goes in. But this is going to be quite very harder hits. We might take one passing overtake on Trooper 907. Taking on the upper hill turn is going to be going in to take the apex. We might be giving the one good safe point. We might be going on. But now this is going to be quite plenty of few more times. We might have plenty of gap distance. We'll buy some time. But this is going to be getting a little bit more hard times. We're checking a few better quality for having a lot of skills to be needed to keep it well managed to maintain. But I hope everybody is doing alright, giving a little better quality. That this is going to be having a little trouble timing, but hope they can still try, because keeping up or having a good race will be needed. That nothing else don't want to get interrupted to be having this time for this moment. Taking that turn to be staying right onto the apex. That this will might to keep it well mobility. Okay, that should do it. This is going to be quite doing very longer it takes. And looks like there goes Trooper 907 is about to coming in. Looks like he's going to be taking a lot of few distance out there, so he's just definitely trying to keep himself under control. Now, each of the quality racing environment that this one might giving a better bar range, that this one might have a good quality, but just trying to keep it well together. So hope this is going to be giving a lot of plenty more effort out there. So looks like they're already in onto the 8th lap, but this is going to be quite given the good same spot since we just did for having a practice. But this one might take 3 more additionally. That this is going to be quite doing good. So 3 more to go, and we'll be heading out to be having a lot of few skills to be taking a lot of good perfection out there. Well, I hope the top 3 drivers are still keeping up on it, but this is going to be quite doing good. So CNF No Limit Busa is trying to keep it up onto Timberhawk 316, but this is going to be quite going tied up on the distance on the ropes. But this wheel might take plenty of turns to be going on, where F1 Ran is definitely might be taking that turn. So looks like he's going in onto the 90-degree S turns on the right and left turn. So this is going to be giving a good step to be performing in to see it. But now let's see how D-Man is definitely might be trying to keep it going. So hope he can catch up onto TPC. JR on is now definitely on in 10th place. But it's going to be quite doing well to see how he can take that skill of a sportsmanship rating. Is definitely might be having a lot of time for it, since after that mistake he just made by taking the recovery. But it's going to be quite very risky if he can do it. Hope him and his V12 Vantage is still trying to keep it up. It looks like there's a yellow flag just calling in on the signal, so looks like this is going to be quite taking a good look to see it. So looks like Miguel 8520 is in 11th place, so he's going in onto racing recovery to going at it. And then looks like Trooper 907 slams me by a mistake on accident. So that might be pushing in onto 12th place. But this is going to be getting a little bit hard time to see how this one might take time for the rear bumper to repair. But it's going to be quite very tougher to see how he can try to keep himself under control. But it's going to be very longer for this race, folks. Hope I can probably try to keep it up. So this one might have the battle of 12th place. We'll be going in to be prepared for this moment. It's going to get very longer, but it's going to get very grueling. We might take the better quality and the low quality. That this is going to be quite very harder it gets. So now this one might have 20 minutes on the race start, but this is going to be giving a little bit more total time. That this one might have 23 minutes until when it's going to be in a total time of 24 minutes. So this is going to be good to have a different reference of the 24 minutes of Spa from GT6. is going to be quite given a good time to see how this might goes. But it was quite very amazing to have this race, that this is going to be quite very good for having a one good Gran Turismo race event reference, that this will might have everything to be enjoyed. But this is going to be good for having a one good better condition. So can I say that this is going to be on the night racing, but very good to have a nice sunset, that this one might have a better view. But it's going to be quite very realistic to have this kind of a night race to be prepared. But it's going to be on the but it's going to be doing good, but it might take plenty more times to be going in to see it. But I'm still trying to catch up to him. This is going to be quite very grueling battle for long, but it takes plenty of strong handlings, that this is going to be quite much possible it can get. Going to keep holding on for it, so racing medium tires is definitely might be giving it the reliable hope. And now it looks like they're already in on to lap number 10, because F1 Valley-Ran still takes the lead. Now Timberhawk 316 and CNF No Limit Buta is still trying to catch up to him, but this is going to be quite giving a much better upper hand to see how the top three drivers are still going on in the far length of the distance. But it's going to get very tougher it gets, but I hope the three drivers are still going up at it. It looks like another yellow flag just called in right now, but this might take plenty more times to be getting in there, so it takes a little bit hard to see it, but it always happens when the few Group 3 cars might be differently lost its grip, that might be prevent the spin out, so just gonna have to try to be very careful. So only one more lap to go, but this race is about to be over soon, because this is going to be quite taking a lot of racing competition. We might be taking a lot of few steps we'll go in. Just gonna hang in there. Just gonna have to take that few speed. We might keep it up. There you go. Just gonna stay on that inside turn, but it's gonna have that grip to be needed. It looks like it's gonna be on 1 minute up ahead on the distance, folks. But this is gonna be quite very grueling, challenging out there by having an endurance race. So it looks like this is gonna be quite getting closer for the top three drivers, because they are definitely might be going pro at it on this track. This is going to be quite doing good to take that perfection, to see how the top three drivers are battling out to take the winning spot we'll be going in. Until then, when they coming out onto the last turn of the chicane, so here they come. The final lap, it's on its way. F1 Valley-Ran is now going to be taking on in the lead. We'll be keep it well defended, so looks like they're about to going in onto the downhill straight. We'll be going on to the upper hill curve. It's going to be quite very tougher it gets, but this is going to be quite very strong risk to see it. Now looks like Chef Boyle 123 is keeping in to stay on 11th place, while Trooper 907 is going to catch up to him, because this is going to be taking a long far length of the distance. While I'm about to be catching up, we'll be going back in onto 12th place. Currently in on 13th place is going to be getting in there. So hope I can probably have a little faith we might keep it up for having this time for this race. And then it looks like Timberhawk 316 is going to keep it well defended, but it's going to be quite getting in there. So looks like DRT BKR is now coming at it, and this is going to be quite very harder to see it in. Looks like getting a little bit more time to keep going, and then it looks like this is going to be quite good to see how DRT is keeping up, and then it looks like G-Man is coming in on 13th place by passing me. Looks like he's just definitely might be sneaking in to be on the overtake. DRT BKR is going to take on to stay in 13th place, while G-Man is still trying to keep it up. Looks like I'm on the scene to see how the two are still going at it, but it's going to be quite very grueling long battle it gets, because two Aston Martins are still catching up onto the third Aston Martin because this is going to be a one interesting three-way battle to take on to the 12th place. But I'm still trying to hang in there, but it's going to get very longer it takes to be holding on for. So that wheel might be taking a last place, we'll be having a last resort, we'll be taking the final request. And looks like it's going to be quite very good to see how F1's Gran is going to take on to the final turn on the chicane. This is going to be his last chance, folks, because this is going to be a very far distance to be getting there. Gran is now going on for the last turn, and it looks like he did it, folks. F1's Gran F1 is taking first place in round 9 of the 2019-20 Exhibition Series of the Manufacturer Series. He did a pretty good job, folks. What a most excited, grueling, long-distance race out there. Because taking a lot of practice to go on for the most competition race, but it's going to be quite taking a lot of risk for everything we could. But it's going to be a most epic challenge out there because they are proven to become faster Group 3 drivers for this round. It's going to be quite very brilliant and very awesome. But we tried our best, but sometimes it gets very challenging for all of us. If we have to take that skills, we might take that good perfection. But this is going to be quite doing good to have the total of seconds remaining until this race will be over soon. I bet this is going to be in last place, so I hope this is finally done. So this will be a time over, and looks like this is going to be a very much brilliant results to see how this wheel might go. Well, can't say that just finally got a good clean race to survive, but it's always having a one tough challenging moment for all of us. If we have what it takes to keep on racing, we'll keep it together. So looks like that was a lot of effort out there for having this time of this race, folks. Well, we did pretty good, but sometimes it's going to get very challenging to see how this might go. So looks like this will might be congratulations to F1 Ryan F1 for the win. So he did a pretty good job for having this race to have the Renault RX 01 GT3 wheel might take the winning gold on the podium. So that was a pretty good race, folks, because we did a challenging race. We'll might keep it up to survive, but it's going to be quite very grueling to avoid the penalties as much as we can to take exercise caution. But we did a pretty good job, so looks like we're about to get ready to move on for the final round of the race, but we shall see how it turns out. So this is going to be a very good challenging race on Circuit de Spa-Francochamps for one good competition race. So it might be taking a lot of your skills, will might be keep it going, will might be having a lot of plenty of efforts, will might take that good racing mobility to keep it up. So after the race is over, this wheel might be getting ready to go to do some more practice another time. And the other news, Laguna Seca is coming up for the final round of the Manufacturer Series, but this is going to be quite very excited for all of us that this wheel might be going on for one excellent Group 4 race. We'll be getting ready to go. Alright folks, glad you really enjoyed this race. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, bell for notification uploads, and the links on the description down below if you want to see more. And the library blog videos are available to watch anytime you want, so this will be entertainment showcase about different cars with some libraries I have been made. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time for continuing on of the 2019-20 Exhibition Series of the Manufacturer Series on Gran Turismo Sport, and I'll see you guys later. Keep on racing, stay clean.